have to be controlled when you rush him, though. And here is a handoff from Marshawn Lloyd, the South Carolina transfer. He broke free, and he scores. He got by Richie for 6. Yeah, 7's not going to do it tonight at the Coliseum.
It was a decision by me and my team, my family, and it comes down to that. I'd say the player and person that they be getting, a person that cares for his teammates. Some of y'all may have seen, some of y'all may have not. I try to take care of all my guys.
Welcome to the Put On Waivers Media Group, home of the Put On Raiders podcast and the Student Body Right podcast. This is your place for the best breakdowns and the best insight for those who fight on and bleed silver and black. Now, here are your hosts, Dwayne Douglas and Ryan Holmes.
And welcome, everybody, to the glorious episode of the Student Body Right USC podcast. I'm your host, Dwayne Douglas, and as always, I am podcasting off the beautiful shores of the Pacific Ocean. Beautiful day out here in Southern California. PORSBR is my Twitter handle. Nice weather today, finally. No more rain. All that stuff is gone. That stuff went away today, so had a nice, beautiful day outside. And USC continues. So I'll always have some news going on. We don't have any news about the running back coach situation. So we'll leave that alone until we get some candidates for you as far as that goes. But I did want to start the show off with the fact that Caleb Williams doesn't have an agent, and I think that is something that is bothering people. It's bothering Rich Eisen. He's leading his show, over and over and over again with this factoid that he is not he doesn't have an agent, and he doesn't need one. He doesn't need one. I mean, maybe on the second contract, if you want to do that, then yeah, but like right now, like why does he need an agent right now? He doesn't need an agent because all the slots are slotted. All the salaries are slotted. You know what you're going to get paid. He obviously has an ability to do things off the field because he knows how to do things off the field already because he has NIL deals already. So why? I mean, so you have to explain to me, why does he need an agent? For what? To take 5, 4, 3, 4, 1% of what? Of his money? Like, he's the one sacrificing that on the field every day, all the time. I mean, him walking, he has to be, some of these kids have to walk around almost so carefully, if you will. Because, if they trip over an acorn, they could tear something or break something. And kind of screw up their whole careers as far as that goes. Like they desperately need to take care of their bodies in every way. Now you're seeing people follow suit. I think Marvin Harrison Jr. doesn't have an agent and doesn't have an agent as well. So that was something that we talked about as well. So now you're seeing these, and also these guys are not going to the combine. They're not going to the combine. They're not working out for you. So some of these guys are not even doing pro days. They're like, I'm not doing a pro day at all. Like, sorry, my guy. I'm not doing a pro day. That's a lot. Like, they're putting their life on the line playing football. They're putting their everything on the line. And like the guys who are criticizing don't put anything on the line. They don't. They don't put anything on the line at any point ever. And I think, as they do all these things for our entertainment. So like asking them to do more things for our entertainment, like the combine, that can only, it could help, it could hurt, whatever. But at the end of the day, like, they're good with that. They're absolutely good with that. They have no reason to do any of that. They're like, I'm good with all of it. So you want to see me? I mean, they have so much tape on all these players. Like, it's just, what's the big deal? They have all these tape on these players. Let them go through the tape. Let them go through all that. Caleb Williams is going to have in March. He'll have his pro day, so everybody can come to California and see that at SC. I'll take it from there. But as far as him not having an agent, I mean, all I heard was Lamar Jackson doesn't have an agent. Oh, the deal can't get done. Him and his mom can't do it. The deal got done, right? Deal's over, right? The deal's done, right? Isn't he one of the highest paid quarterbacks in the National Football League? Didn't he get his huge contract without an agent? I mean, you just a lawyer come in, maybe hourly, come do some work for you, and that's it, and then walk out. That's it. That's all you need. That's all you need. You don't need anything else than that. You don't need anything else than that. So this whole like, oh my God, what is he gonna do? If he was my son, I've heard that from some of these guys saying that stuff. If he was my son, I'd want him to have. He's not your son. He ain't your son. Don't worry about it. He got it. It's taken care of. They'll find a way to get drafted 1, 2, or 3, and then end up with, whatever that money is. So that's not a big deal. So everybody making a big deal about that, get over yourself. Stop it. It's stupid. It's dumb. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about that. So the NCAA has become more and more insignificant as we go on here, because they messed with the wrong Cowboys, SEC. They messed with the wrong Cowboys. Like the whole situation at Tennessee, they couldn't help themselves. The NCAA. They had to put their foot in the cookie jar, man. Or put that hand in the cookie jar, and they just couldn't resist. And when they couldn't resist it, what happened, right? What happened in that moment? They end up losing all the power over NIL. And now, like, they don't got power over nothing right now. There's not a single bit of power they have at all at this moment in the NCAA. They don't have any of it. And it's a huge issue for them now. I mean, that was probably the stupidest thing that they ever did. Now the court ruling that they have no, it's a free for all, if you will. I don't know what that means for USC though. I mean, that's the question. I think they are so. I know everybody wants them to jump in and start flashing that dough, flashing whatever to get some of these players. I do feel like they're in that moment here where that they're saying to themselves, like, I mean, if we do, we know the hammer is going to come down on us harder than everybody else. They're just scorned from the Reggie Bush era. They don't want that to happen again, and I can't fault them for it. I can't fault them for that part of it. But once you get that legislation, out there, once you get that legislation out there, then at this point, it's like, it's on you to make a decision. Like, I don't know how much Doe, Oregon, and all the other schools are doing not for people who are like, high school players, but college players, transfer portal players. I think proven talent. USC is going to shell some money out for the proven talent. Do you want to do it for the high schoolers? I mean, that's the biggest question. Do you want to do it for the high school players? Like, that's a huge one, because I'll be honest, man, like, we can talk about all these high school classes and everything like that. At the end of the day, some of these high school classes and some of these guys, nobody talks about the guys who don't do anything, never amount to, anything great at all. Like, I mean, that's a big part of what goes on here is you can go for that 5-star recruit. I mean, didn't we just have a 5-star recruit who transferred out because he never lived up to the billing? Like, I'm not saying never do it. There has to be some select high school players who, like, you kind of, you do the background, you do all your work, you trust your coaches, you trust the guys who you help recruit to find out that he's the real deal, and then you put that money into him. But just throwing money at classes after classes after classes. I don't know if that's really necessarily the way to do business, but they do have to jump in a little bit more aggressive than they are right now. I mean, they really do have to do that. Like, it's really a big, important part of what college football is right now. I mean, it's semi-pro. It's semi-pro. It's basically pro football. So these guys have to come through. They have to and if I find that they have to find a plan that works for SC. But there has to be a plan for SC that works, that gives them an opportunity to compete with the Big Ten teams, the Oregons, the Ohio States, the Michigans, and whoever else is out there. As far as that goes. We got some odds for you, some odds, if you will, some odds to make the college football playoff. Let's just go for the percentile part of the percent right now. USC right now, the betting is a betting plus 500, and then you also have the situation where they are 16.7% of making the college football playoff. I think the thing about USC that is interesting here, trying to pull up their schedule here as far as that goes, but they don't have to, USC doesn't have to worry about having to hope other people lose or win. They just have to go out there and take care of their own stuff. Like, if they beat all the teams they need to finish ahead of, but to get into the college football playoff, they actually play. So they play Penn State, which should be a great game. I can't wait to go to that game. They play Penn State. They play Michigan. I mean, it's going to help them if they beat if they're able to beat LSU. Like, there's all these teams that are ahead of them, and like I said, there's ahead of them is we got 50. I'm on the website right now. We got 52 days. 52 days. That's not correct. 52 days to the spring game. Sorry, there's 52 games to the spring game, and that's a big thing. I mean, it's 52 days to a spring game. They have this new coaching staff. They have all these pieces that they feel like are going to help them get better. This is an opportunity to do it. This is the biggest opportunity for them to do it, because it makes all the sense in the world for them to get better. If they just tackle and just perform better, you would think that they would be able to become a better football team with all the defensive changes they made. But it's like a week in, week out basis where, like, they play teams who, may not have the best quarterback, may not have the best offense, but they will run the football and they will hit you at the line of scrimmage. Playing at the line of scrimmage is going to be huge. And if they're able to play the line of scrimmage, then they can beat some of these teams. But like I said, if they can, the first two games, I'll just say the first, the LSU game and the Michigan game. If they can go 1-1, and you almost would prefer to go 1-1 with, obviously, maybe beating, losing to LSU and beating Michigan. If you had a choice of which one you had to do it with, but those are the big games. I mean, if they can somehow, and Michigan doesn't, Michigan has, Wink Martindale as their defensive coordinator now. They have some good pieces defensively. They have 18 guys, a record number at the combine. So a lot of pieces left, including Harbaugh, including that defensive coordinator. They have a lot of guys who have left that team. So we have to see if Sherrone Moore is the guy to kind of lead them into the next era of Michigan football. So that game is up for grabs. But if they can like 2-0, they're cooking with gas as far as getting to the college football playoff. If they can somehow get 1-1, I hate to lose a game a national game on on a Sunday September 1st against a team like LSU. I hate to lose that game, but the more important game is almost the Michigan game. It really, because Michigan is going to be higher ranked than LSU is as far as that goes. But 16%. So they're telling you 16.7%. So they're telling you that USC has a chance. They actually have a chance as far as making the playoff. But I mean, it starts off that first game. I mean, I'm looking at it from a perspective of I do respect LSU, and I think LSU they got a defensive coordinator who came off of the Missouri staff. And anybody who watches the show, I really respect Missouri's program. Missouri has a really good program, and they're going in the right direction. And they could get to the college football playoff, if you will. So we'll have to see if that happens. But if we're looking around with all this time to prepare for one opponent, I like his chances. I like his. I like it. That's one thing that I do like about him as a coach. If you get all that time to prepare for a team, I think SC will be ready to go as far as that goes. But it should be interesting as far as that goes. But 16%, 16% as far as their chances right now if we're gonna go to bet online out there and bet on USC making the college football playoff. I did want to say one thing about not USC related, but college football related and high school football related, and it goes to the situation that happened on that 7-on-7 game with Cam Newton's team and somebody else's team. I don't know what is going on in the world with these parents and these kids and all this other stuff, but at the end of the day, like, what are we doing with football? Like, half of these great, high flying college athlete, potential college athletes, or high school players are going to be working for regular companies. They're going to go to college, and some of them may drop out, may not finish. Some will finish and get a degree, and they'll be pro in something that's not sports. They'll have great stories, they'll have great moments, but they're not going to be pro players. Like that's just the reality of it in these 7-on-7s. So like it's just the reality of it. And let them chase their dream, but you don't got to be a dick in the process. Like, these kids are. I've seen all these videos when Cam Newton is having these events, and I'm surprised he still has them, because they treat him like he is just the scum of the earth. And the guy is actually trying to give back to a community. And, when somebody gets rich and they leave the community and they're a person of color, the first thing everybody says is, "Oh yeah, guess what? He bounced. Like he bounced. He left us and never came back. Oh man, that dude ain't nothing. He ain't shit." This guy comes back repeatedly. So instead of you're coaching against him, you're coaching against his team, and instead of just having a head-to-head competitive game and saying, "Okay, we're gonna have a really competitive game with this dude," and then after that, as the game's over, "Hey, Cam, hey, can you come speak to these kids about going pro, being what you went through going from, Florida to Auburn and becoming becoming a Heisman Trophy winner, a national champion, a guy who went to a Super Bowl, all the success, had one of the greatest seasons a quarterback has ever had in the National Football League ever. Cam Newton, that Cam Newton. I know you see him with the hair, you see him with the glasses and the scarves, and I think the four guys who tried to jump him found out that they found out that he's actually 6'5" and about 250, and is as solid as a rock. He literally looked like I do if I had like 3 kids trying to fight me, like 3 4-year-olds trying to fight me. People coming in with super punches, the running start super punches on Cam Newton, who didn't even phase him. I mean, that's the kind of person, that kind of athlete. I mean, this guy was getting hit by 300-pound linemen. Are you kidding me? Like, it's time for us to take a deep breath and understand that like your time is past. You're an example for these kids. All right. And there was really no reason for this kind of behavior to happen. And I think at some point there needs to be some kind of regulation, some kind of like, hey, like, some real the free for all of 7-on-70s could also go away. I would love for that to go away. Like some real, you gotta have some real coaches, some real human beings out there, not a bunch of fools who out here trying to beat up on guys who are 3 times their size and their strength, and the 4 of them can't beat them up still. So shout out to Cam Newton for doing his thing. I hope he continues to keep doing his thing because I think he's positively affecting some young people out there, and for parents and some of the young people who try to disrespect a guy who has had just a tremendous amount of ability for so many years and has done so many things off the field to really help people. I think you guys should be ashamed of yourself, like for real. All right, Somebody Right USC podcast. We out. Take care next time. And we're going to go another breakdown. We're going to break down some of the Oregon State transfers here on the podcast next show. So we have that. And then we also have, it's almost time to call back USCJ. I might have to come. I need some energy. I got a cold. You can hear me sniffling. I'm trying to not sneeze on the show. I'm trying to stop my nose from running, all that stuff like that. But yeah, you gotta have USCJ back on here. He had a great. If you missed it, he had a great conversation with Chris Trevino, US of 24 Sports and USCfootball.com. So check that out as well. So that's my brother out there. So he's doing this thing. All right, Somebody Right USC podcast. We out. Peace.